This is 3 magnificent AI stocks ready to explode.
If you want to make money this week with 3 AI stocks that are likely to run and create more profits. I'll give you my research, no webinars, no boot camps or anything like that. I respect your time, so let's jump right into this video. I'm going to start off with Palantir. As you can see right now, Palantir is at $110 per share.
So I'm recording this on March 10th. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to go back and look at several videos of these finfluencers, these YouTubers who are in the same space that we are, and see just how great their predictions have been. Now, I'll tell you one thing. The last thing I will ever do is tell you this stock is going to explode. This stock is going to whatever dollar, right? All you need to know is the stock moving up right now? Yes. If it is moving up right now, how much risk are you willing to take to find out if it will continue to move up? And if it does, ride that thing until the sunset. If it doesn't, you need to get out as fast as you can and limit your risk as much as possible. So let's see what we have to hear about these 3 magnificent AI stocks. And so this was recorded on February 10th. So it's a month ago today. And let's go to Palantir real quick. At the day I'm recording this, it's down 11%. So from February 10th here, this isn't looking very good right now, is it? This video is aging very poorly. It's down 35% since this point. So let's see what Invest with Henry has to say.
Stock is an absolute tear. It's actually hard to believe that this stock was a $6 stock when I started covering it back in early 2023. And now the stock is having a gap up. Even in the $100 level, it's still having a gap up. Palantir CEO Alex Karp says that this company is a software juggernaut. And I think that we have to take his word for it, guys. Revenue for Palantir, this company had a 36% year-over-year increase, reaching $828 million for the quarter. Now, I have several positions on this stock. I have 2,800 shares right now, the stock at an average cost of $22.68 per share. I'm up $245,000, and I'm actually planning to add to my position in a couple of different ways. But I first want
I appreciate that he's sharing a little bit of transparency right there, if we can take him at his word about it. But one thing to keep in mind, though, is let's say that he did take it all the way up from $22 to $110 at the time he was recording it. You don't have to hold it the 35% on its way down. My rule of thumb is if it crosses under the 10 moving average, the 10 period moving average, just go ahead and get out. Go ahead and get out, because whenever something crosses under the 10 EMA, that means things have changed, right? Here's a great example. When was the last time it crossed under the 10 EMA? From the 10, that's the blue line right there. So it went from this candle here, and the first time it closed under was 39% higher. So that was November 5th of 24 to December 18th of 24. And then what happened right after that? Right after that, ups and downs, ups and downs. Things changed after that. That's my rule of thumb. If it crosses under the 10, that's a great time to get out. And what happened right after that? Sideways, and then a huge gap up after earnings. Now, this was my example of a gap and go that I was showing for a long, long time. And here's what you want to see in a gap and go. If it gaps up like Palantir did after earnings, but doesn't close below that first day's candle, that first day's wick, if it doesn't close below that point, you could consider that a gap and go and be very, I would be very long that stock. However, we did get a sell signal on Outlier on Palantir. So let's go take a look at that. So looking at the sell signal here, you can see just how well timed that was. That came on February 13th. February 13th was 3 days after Invest with Henry uploaded it, right before the big sell-off, came. And it wasn't a huge surprise for this big sell-off, and I'll show you why. Inside of Outlier, when you look at the data right here, we have the behavioral heat map, and this shows on a scale of 0 to 50 on greed and 0 to 50 on fear, just how fearful or how greedy people are getting. And the further this goes, the more likely it is to snap back. And you can see when the sell signal happened, it was up at G42, so 42 out of 50, so nearly all the way maxed out in the greed factor there. And what happened? It snapped right back. It snapped right back. So poor timing on this one, Invest with Henry, but let's continue on.
I want to cover my overall viewpoint of Palantir because it has been changing and evolving as the stock continues to rise. Specifically, I looked at earnings, and earnings really surprised me. I think this stock deserves to be $100 per share stock because EPS rose by 75% to 14 cents, surpassing analysts.
I wonder if you'd be saying that if it had gone down after earnings. Just curious.
expectations of 11 cents, which is like freaking absolutely insane numbers. Now, what's also insane is the government revenues. There was a 40% increase totaling $455 million, with the US government contracts contributing to $343 million. Commercial revenue was also super freaking hot. The commercial sector saw a 31% rise, amounting to $372 million, with US commercial revenue growing by 64% year over year.
This is so interesting to hear this a month later, because this is why I tell you guys all the time, the only thing that matters, only price pays. Right? Because Invest with Henry is coming up with all these reasons as to why the stock should be this price, right? That's the most dangerous word in all of finance. It should be this, it should be that. The only thing that matters is what the price is today. Like I say, we got that sell signal 2 days before the absolute top came through. Now, if you're holding Palantir at this point, right, I don't know how I can help you here, because this is such a bearish trend. The way that you can tell bullish and bearish trends is super easy. It's called the outlier trend template. When the 10 EMA is over the 20 EMA and price is over the 50 EMA, that is a bullish trend. What's happened over here? The 10 EMA is under the 20 EMA, price is under the 50 EMA. This is a bearish trend. And on a day like this, when it's down 11% just today, I don't know where it's going from here. And here's the thing. I won't tell you I know where it's going, but I'll tell you it's trending down. And trends do change. But as of right now, this is a stock that I would stay far away from because it's trending down. I know probably some of you are thinking, well, now's the time to be loading up. Now's the time to be loading up on this stock, right? I bet a lot of people were loading up on Tesla when it had doubled in value from October up to December. I bet a lot of people were excited to double up in value. And now Tesla is down more than that. It has completely round tripped and it's down 54%. 54% from this high right here. And of course, this is when everyone gets all excited. This is the market cycle. I have to show you this slide. It's my absolute #1 favorite slide to go to. You need to get familiar with the market cycle. Stage 1 is this consolidation period down here. Stage 2 is what everybody loves to be paid on. Everybody loves to go up the wall of worry right here. And it's called the wall of worry because you're wondering if when's the time to get out. I don't know. I'm worried about how much money I'm going to make. But then at the same time, you got optimism, hope, belief, thrill, and euphoria, which I think we saw a lot of euphoria here right at the top. Then stage 3 is where it's the topping pattern here. And this is where all the moving averages start crossing back over and over like this. And you can say the same thing with Palantir, all the moving averages crossing over like this. And then the last step is step 4. That's this slope of hope right here. You're hoping that it'll come back one day, but you have anxiety, denial, panic, capitulation, anger. I know a lot of Tesla shareholders, a lot of Tesla bag holders are feeling this right now. And I'm not saying that we're to that point on Palantir because we still might be in stage 3, but right now it's certainly a bearish trend.
Every year. I think this company can become a really rare thing that we don't really see that often. A company that defines an entire business era. Like think about IBM in the early days of computing, or Microsoft in the software boom, or Amazon in the digital commerce revolution, or Apple in the mobile and design-driven era, or Tesla in EVs. Palantir is aggressively pushing AI. They're aggressively pushing AI-driven decision-making tools, particularly in defense, intelligence, enterprise analytics, and the government money just hits differently, guys. If you want to become a billionaire, start a company that profits from the government. If you want to become a millionaire, invest in one. It's as simple as that. Now, I honestly don't like that Palantir is like involved in war. I don't like to see what's going on with Ukraine and Russia war. I'm in Eastern Europe myself right now, or like what's happening in the Middle East. But the truth is, we don't really have that much control over the government. So if Palantir is going to be making a ton of money from cyber warfare, and this is like the way our future is going, well, Palantir is going to make a ton of money. So I guess make money. We can't control the government, and just follow where the money flows. Literally, just follow it. All of you.
That's ironic. Follow where the money flows, and it definitely was going in here, but it is not anymore. The money is flowing right out of stocks like Palantir, Tesla, Nvidia. Right. This is what you need to be on the watch for, is when the market is telling you which direction it's going. Are you going to listen?
Subscribers that made tens of thousands of dollars and are subscribed, I really thank you for placing trust in me. And I'm going to continue to make money on Palantir by selling put options. Anything under the current strike is going to be good. I'll have more information on that at the end.
Oh, yikes. Okay. Well, if we're going to talk about selling put options, let's just talk about how bad of an idea that is. So I don't have access to what the put options were valued at that time. But let's just take an estimate. Okay, let's say that he sold a put option here on February 10th. On February 10th, the stock was, let's say it was at, let's just call it 110. But we'll make it easy at 110. Let's say, for example, that when he sold his put options, he was bullish. That's a bullish trade. Let me do this real quick. Put options. Short put options. Now, I really care about explaining this because I fell into the trap of thinking that selling options was the most brilliant thing ever. And I lost literally $200,000 doing it. $200,000 thinking I was a genius. So, for example, let's say that he sold an out of the money put, and let's say it was the 100 strike. Let's say it was the 100 strike that he sold. And the current price is at 110. Let's say that he sold it for I don't know, $3. Right? So his break even is the price the strike price minus the $3 he sold it for. So his break even point was 97. So if we look at this, and let's draw on this little thing real quick. So let's say he sold it at 100, break even point is at 97. Now this is a very viable strategy if the stock doesn't violate, if the stock doesn't come down and break your the strike price he sold it at. And here's why. The max that he could make in that is $3. So, let's call it $300. We'll call it $3 just to keep it simple per contract. And as you can see here, within the span of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, things changed. And more than likely, he sold a put option that was further out than 7 days. And now let's say he's still holding it while the stock is down at $75. Let's say, for example, he's still holding it while the stock is now at $75. This is crazy. And now it's at 75. All right. So he took in a credit of $3, 3.00. And as long as it stayed above the 100 strike at expiration, he could keep all of that. But what happened is it's now at $75. So now we take the difference in 97 and 75. So 97 minus 75, that's $22. He took in $3 already. So we'll say that he took in $3 up here. So his max loss in the trade would be 22 minus 3. So his max loss right now is $1,900. So he basically could have made at the most $3. And if he's still holding it right now, he's down $19. Okay, let's break that down. Now, if he were to sell it out and take this loss, he needs 6 perfect trades in a row to make up for the one loss. One loss. He needs 6 perfect trades in a row. That's why selling put options really sucks. Like in theory, hey, you know what? As long as it stays above 100, I'm fine. But it didn't. It didn't. And when I was doing this, it was like it never could. It never could stay above the strike that I sold. And it was always doing this like this to me. And I just couldn't understand why I was the one person who couldn't make money selling options. And maybe you've been in the same boat too. But he now needs 6 trades in a row that are perfect to make up for this. And he might not have even got 350. He might have got $1, and it would have been even worse at this point. So his loss in the trade is 6.5 times greater than the most he could make in a trade. The risk return in that is skewed so far against you. I can't even imagine that anybody would want to put on selling puts anymore these days. I just don't understand why anybody would do it.
In this video, I want to continue and go over all 3 stocks as fast as possible. The next magnificent stock that I think is going to crush in AI is Google. This is the first time I cover Google.
All right, Google. Let's go look at Google. Now, again, he recorded this, or at least released it on February 10th. It was already in a downtrend by that point. Google was already trending down by that point. Your 10 under the 20, price under the 50. And how far is it down since then? How far is it down since then? Only 11%. That's not so bad. Certainly a lot better than Palantir. But I look at things like this and I'm like, so many people think you should buy the dip. So many people think, oh, Google's a great company. It has to go back up, right? It should go back up anytime soon. But no, it continued dipping. Now you're probably thinking, well, how do I know when the dip has stopped and I can get in? That's not very hard at all. That's not hard at all. In fact, we could look at right here. Over here in Google in November, you can see the 10-20-50 crossed down, but very quickly it did turn around and the 10-20-50 crossed right back up. And then the stock went higher. Crazy, right? When the moving averages cross your 10 over 20 price over the 50, you might make a buck, you might lose a buck, right? Sometimes like this, sideways trading happens. But then you catch a nice trend like this, and you can make a few dollars right there. You can make up for all of this and more in a single trade. So don't be rushing into anything. With the 10 under the 20, price under the 50 in Google and on Palantir, those are undeniably bearish trades right now. And I would not at all be interested in these
in detail on my channel, and it's important that you listen and make money on this stock. And if you like me covering new stocks on this channel, don't click off. Google search is transforming the AI era. AI chatbots like OpenAI, ChatGPT offer a new way to access information online. And since they can provide direct answers to almost any question, they provide a more convenient user experience than traditional search engines like Google. This was kind of an issue, which is why Alphabet developed the Gemini family of large language models to compete with OpenAI's latest models, and it released a chatbot with the same exact name. However, Gemini is also powering new features within Google search to protect its dominant market share during the AI era. One of those features is AI overviews, which uses a combination of text, images, and links to third-party websites to produce complete responses to user queries. They appear at the top of traditional search results, so users no longer have to click through to different web pages. Alphabet.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. That I started using ChatGPT when I wanted it to know a question, when I wanted an answer to a question, I would be going straight to ChatGPT. Like for example, last night I had a cough, I had a hard time sleeping, and I'd already taken some Mucinex, and so I messaged ChatGPT. I said, I've already taken Mucinex, I'm having a hard time sleeping, and I've got this cough that's keeping me up. And it said, try this, and this. One was like herbal tea, take a shower, and then one of them was like to try some Benadryl because it has a different, I don't understand the mechanics of it, but it works differently in the way that you cough. And I was like, oh, let me try that. Took Benadryl, slept like a baby. I was like, okay, cool. Thank you, ChatGPT. You answered exactly what I needed to know. With all that being said, when someone comes in and they talk about how great a company is and how awesome this thing is and how great this new product is or whatever, right? That it could be 1,000% true. It could be a completely new and game-changing thing. But if the stock is going down, it shouldn't matter. It should be interesting, but it shouldn't make any difference whatsoever in your investing. It should be interesting to you, but at the end of the day, if buyers aren't coming in to help push up the stock, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. Actually, let's go over to Google inside of Outlier real quick and take a look at it. Of course, I know it's Alphabet. I know you're about to put it in the chat. I know it's Alphabet, but I'm always going to call it Google. Yeah, this one right here. Let's see. We did get a buy signal, not the greatest buy signal. I'll put it to you that way. But of course, always make sure you know where your risk is at. And here, looking at this, you can see the heat map was going down, right? It came down this way and it continues to go down, getting more and more fearful. And then the whole tech sector, I'm sorry, the communication sector, I forget, actually was getting more greedy while Google was going down. And now both of them are getting more fearful. So even though that buy signal wasn't the best one, it's really important to make sure that you keep your risk in check. And anytime that I see buy signals within downtrends, I look at those as like a buy to close, like AMD. We got a buy signal on AMD as it's going down like this. And it's not because it's a time to start going long. It's a time to look to close shorts. So Google, another one that I'm not super interested in.
That says that overviews are live in more than 100 countries and are driving people to use Google search more frequently because they can ask different questions and extract more information than before. Plus, Alphabet says overviews monetize just as well.
We're going to skip forward. And reason being is that like all of this, I call it mumbo jumbo. All this mumbo jumbo that has to do with what the stock is and how great the company is and all this cool stuff that they're doing doesn't mean anything at all if the price of the stock is going down. And that's all that matters. That's all that matters. And if you're going to call your video 3 magnificent AI stocks ready to explode, people are going to take you at face value. They're going to say, well, daggum, this should be going up anytime soon, right? It should go up. Should is the most dangerous word you've ever heard in finance. Let's see what his final one is. Oh,
really good performance.
Tesla. Well, that's not aged well. Tesla down, the day I'm recording this, down 13%. I mentioned this earlier, but this huge round trip, you don't have to participate in this. You do not have to. We did an exercise earlier where we looked at, let me just put where the current price is down here. We did this exercise earlier where we talked about when things cross under the 10 EMA, that it's basically a sign that something has changed, right? You've got to cross a close under here, but then it closed right back over and then it rocket shipped higher. When was the next time it closed under? Right here, December 20th. December 20th, since then, what happened? A lot happened. It hit its stage 3 and its stage 4. And now 100% of this 100% move is gone. So I really like looking at these older videos. Tell me in the chat if this makes sense to you, if you'd like me to continue looking at these, because I am here to call out these pump and dumpers, these fakers, these people who are trying to tell you that buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. But the problem is, I don't think they understand that the dip can go so much further down than you could ever want it to do. In fact, let's look at the comments here. Let's see if we can sort by newest. If anyone else has commented on how well the dip is going. Yeah, it's crazy how I'm watching this video as Palantir's tumbling. Yeah, that's this person says it's reckless to pump Palantir at this level. And at the end of the day, I feel like these are such pumpers that have come into the market that are just, I don't know, putting this kind of content out on YouTube saying this stock is going to go up, buy now because you will be a millionaire by the end of the week. I don't know. It doesn't feel right to me. So that's why I'm here making these videos for you. I'm out on spring break right now, but I want you to make sure you subscribe because we're going to continue to put out more of these videos here every single day. We'll talk soon.
10 over 20 over 50.